Hi. So, this feels like the most vulnerable thing to talk about because I feel like I know nothing. Um, I have been angry at God for a long time. Many people I have met have assumed that I go to church or I'm religious my whole life when that's not what I was doing. I do and have always lived my life by not perfectly to any extent, but like I don't seek revenge on people. For most of my life, I didn't steal. The biggest one is I just treat other people like I want to be treated. But I often find that they're not also living by such a thing, or maybe just aren't able to. Most people aren't able to get beyond themselves. From what I've noticed. Um, but really, it's not like my place to judge. It's been hard how many times that I've felt used by other people. And I guess that's kind of what I'm angry at God about. And I'm angry that my mom has schizophrenia. And that it's been hard to tell if she loves me. And it's like Christmas tomorrow, and I want to call her, but last time I called her, I sunk into like a 3-day depression. Because I've never been her daughter, I've been like her mother. And it's just hard because now that I'm separating myself from her, she's very angry at me, even though she's not saying it. I can feel it. And just the sort of manipulative energy she was sending towards me was like, that was what put me in depression for 3 days and doubting myself again. And it's just been super difficult. And I want it to be some other answer besides God can help me. And I'm like, are you serious? This is too difficult. Like, how the fuck are you gonna help me with this? Like, that's how angry I am. That's how angry I've always been at my mother. And I guess I blamed God for this. Like, what happened to her? But it's not like she wasn't basically the same person with the same character before this happened. She was. She just wasn't talking out loud to herself. Or leaving the state at random when she had 3 kids in the house, you know. I feel so betrayed by my mother. And I feel like it's impacted my whole life. Like getting with partners who never had the capacity to love me. And thinking if I could change something about my behavior, they would love me. But it wasn't going to happen. And it wasn't going to happen with my mother either. She loves me more than any of the men I've ever been with have loved me. But it's still, she has a pretty limited capacity for that type of emotion. So that's where we're at. And it's hurtful because I feel like I have nobody in the world. I'm trying to like turn to God, and I'm so angry. And part of me just wants to invite those abusive people back into my life. It's not like I haven't had the thought, oh, just go sleep with someone, it'll make you feel better. And then I have to remember, it never has. I always feel worse. So here I am with my own emotions and my own thoughts, and what the fuck do I do? It's not enough. Nothing feels like enough right now. I don't feel like enough. feel like if God loved me, this stupid shit wouldn't happen. And I went back through some of these relationships I've had with men, and I'm like, any situation with any person I've ever been in that's been shit, which pretty much all of them have been, or at least I've been misunderstood. What am I trying to say? The people. Any situation. Who knows? I don't feel loved. Saying that out loud, I know I am, but I feel empty and alone. Like, why do I have to spend Christmas alone? But I'm willing to do that, just so I can have better people in my life. I'm willing to not accept people who just want to take whatever they can get. And I find myself angry at other people who live in this house with me. My roommates, and I'm like, have I misjudged them? I don't fucking think so. I think this is just another test to not let stupid people into my life. I don't know why some people feel hollow. I, in some ways, feel hollow. I don't try to fill it by taking from other people. For the most part, I have stolen things from a store, which I think that is some version of that. But that was not recently. I can't be prosecuted, I hope. Okay. I'm just finding like so much shame and abandonment. Like, I know how many times I've abandoned myself because it seems so hard. And I don't want to face what I'm going through and the hurt and the pain. How long do I just have to stay with it? How long is this going to last? I know I've avoided it most of my life. Like, I didn't want to know what was at the core of me. But it feels like shame. And what do I do with shame? What am I supposed to do with that? Is that something God can help me with? Because I am ashamed at the ways I have treated myself. I'm ashamed that I knew what to do and I didn't do it. Because I felt hopeless and like it wouldn't get better anyway. And I didn't want to start this journey that would never end. Just to feel the same I would feel. But I never had the courage to check if taking care of myself would actually make my life better. I just broke it over and over again in anger. I guess at my mother and my dad too. I wonder sometimes if it's just because my dad's dead that I can see the kind things he did for me. Because I was so angry at him while he was alive. And part of me wants to remember why the fuck I was so angry at him. I know the basics of it, but I'm just not angry at him anymore. Maybe for being dead, but not for anything he did while he was living. Some part of me thinks he died to free me from the anger. I miss my mom and I miss my dad, but it's like a mom I never had. And I have this yin yang tapestry that I usually pin up in places I live. I haven't put it up here because probably because it's hard for me to get out to the car. But and everything I do hurts my back. So the idea of pinning a tapestry up is not a welcome thought. Anyways, the tapestry, it's a yin yang, it's like a rainbow and colorful and feels very spiritual to me. And I have called it my actual mother because it feels like love. Because a good mother would love both the good and evil in me, like a yin yang. And I think that God loves both the good and evil in me. The parts of me that want to hurt myself or have. It's taken a while to be able to, for the majority of the day, say I'm worth it. And I guess that only started out with a spark of an idea that I was not at fault for the ways other people treat me, which was the reason I was hurting myself. And when it's no longer your fault, then you have the courage to step up and stand up for yourself. And it no longer matters how anyone looks at you or how they feel about you. Because you're doing you. And I honestly think this is a place I've wanted to get to my entire life. Where I just wasn't angry at myself anymore. Or shaming myself anymore. I still feel shame. I guess what I'm wrestling with right now is that I see my own feelings of shame. And the natural inclination is to shame myself. For shame. However crazy that sounds. I'm looking for unconditional love. I'm looking to treat myself with unconditional love. And it's just been hard for me to find that place since yesterday. And I realize how much shame I have in my body and how I've treated my body. It is hard to face how much I have abused myself. I don't know if I can do this. So, just a lot of pain right now.